like no other. First of its kind in Ibadan, constantly on the green, giving you the best of broadcasting 24 hours. Agidigbo 88.7 FM, the people's voice. This is Kunle Amzat Studio, Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Welcome to the DAILIES.
A very good morning to you right here from the Kunle Amzat studio at Agidigbo 88.7 FM Ibadan. I welcome you to the Kunle Amzat studio today and of course to the dailies. This is where we get to talk about our great nation, the stories making the rounds and how the stories, how they can affect and concern us or how they are currently affecting and also how they concern us at the moment. My name is Wuraola Yusuff and I'll be taking you through the front pages of our daily newspapers today. After which the analyst in the studio, our unbiased analyst, that is MAESTRO, the great MAESTRO, will be analyzing and also giving us insight on how the stories, how they affect us or what they truly mean in the real sense, because sometimes when we see stories, we'll watch them, we'll look at them, and also we interpret based on the headlines. And quite a lot of times, it is always more than the headlines. That is why MAESTRO is here in the studio to do that, to enlighten us on the state of the nation. All right, I'll be taking it from the Punch newspaper this morning, and where we have the story on the issue of crude price hike on page 31. Dangote alleges IOCs frustrating refinery. The writer to that story says Dangote accuses NMDPRA of granting licenses to operators to import dirty fuel. On page 2, on the issue of cholera outbreak, 22 states get kits as Lagos cases hit 500. On page 32, Nigerians borrow 3.9 trillion naira as economic crisis bites harder. Page 32. Nigerians, not Nigeria. Alright, page 31. Food price hike worry operators amid 1.2 trillion naira agric budget. A federal government to punish supervisors approving salaries for jackpot workers. And that is on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. Naira sells at 1,485 naira per dollar as official forex market records $23 billion. That story is on page 32 of the Punch newspaper today. To the Nation newspaper, where we also have Dangote refineries saying IOC's frustrating rollout of petrol and also accuses government agency of aiding indiscriminate importation. On page 4, Rivers Council workers plan protest over police presence. The state airports, how viable? That story is on page 2, if you have any interest on that. The Kano government serves a Bayero eviction notice from Nasarawa Palace, and that story is on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. Governor raises dust over spending of 90 billion naira Hajj subsidy. Page 11 of the Nation newspaper. INEC retains a placeholder as Akpata's running mate in Edo. That is on page 30 of the Nation newspaper. Page 30 also we have the story saying that why Oyo government delayed approval of Olakole's choice as 43rd Olubadan. Why? We shall be discussing that this morning. And moving on to another newspaper we have here this morning, and that will be the Vanguard newspaper. On the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning, we have the story right here. And the first one says, textile industry faces total collapse as revival efforts fail. That is on page 20 of the Vanguard newspaper today. Labour to governors on minimum wage rescue Nigeria from a state of resentment, misery. That story is on page 9. Nigerian pilgrims are starving in Saudi Arabia, and that is coming from a governor on page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. A civil servant collecting salaries after relocating abroad must refund money. That is on page 9, and that is coming from the federal government themselves. These stories, alongside others, are what we have today to discuss. And of course, we will be picking it up from the story about the cholera outbreak, because I would like Maestro. There is a high chance we will be ending with that too also. So I would like Maestro to help us enlighten people about cholera and how we can prevent these from spreading further.
Okay, let's start from there. It's very important that we imbibe cleanliness is next to godliness. That is very important in everything we do, especially taking care of children. Make sure the health basics are done when they are setting out, and tell them how to go about what they drink, what they eat, and everything like that. We need to do our best in that regard. But you see, whatever we do as individuals in our different capacities to take care of our environment, take care of our homes, make sure that the water we drink is clean and everything possible, there's still that large space, that large void still remains there. Just before we came on, I was pointing in the direction of somewhere in Ibadan where I walked, for many years, Okeare there. Most houses don't have toilets. I'm telling you this and if the weather looks like there's going to be rainfall, God, everybody on that lane knows that some things are going to go down, which is very, very dangerous to health. Now, I've not been there for a long time. I don't know if that culture still persists. I don't know if they've taken care of business in a better way there, but I suspect that it hasn't changed a lot. And I think this is where government comes in.
Okay.
That we play much less politics and we get serious about life and death situations like this. That terrain is difficult, to sink boreholes, to have your sock away and so on and so forth. So government has to be creative and, have a deliberate plan, a policy that seeks to take care of business in such a place. And if you go to places like Lagos, you still see a lot of open defecation. As sophisticated as Lagos is, it's not just Lagos. Almost everywhere, people still dash into the bush and do one or two things. These things ensure that when we have breakouts like this, it empowers, it gives it a buoy. It helps it to surge. And so we truly need to ensure that we take care of business in these areas. One, at the level of individuals, homes, and then as a collective in our societies, we still need to up the standard.
All right. We know that before there is something that we used to call wule
Why
wule.
were you laughing the other time when I said boy? Okay, let's go.
Yeah, there used to be something we do call wule wule, and when these
Yes,
people want
Wura.
to come, people are
Yes.
scared.
No, you see, I'm happy you brought this up because it's something that we grew up with. Wole Wole was, part of our lives, and it ensured that everybody kept to basic health standards in your homes, especially where you have a cluster of people, and even where you're selling food and so on. So they came. I mean, some of them overdid things a little, but it was really good for us, and like wole wole would Ju and so on and so. That's where those things came from. So it tells you that government was in on whatever you were doing concerning health
At that time.
at that time. But all those things are gone now. They are gone. Now, if you say health inspectors, sanitary inspectors, and so on and so forth, now people will go and be collecting money from, hardworking people who have it hard enough already.
And at that time, the scare is always there. Whenever you hear wuli wuli is coming, people start to keep everywhere tidy.
Tidy up.
And also, recently, your state, I think the past administration, we used to have this every Thursday. It's every Thursday, the sanitation. And then for the last Saturdays, but we do not have that anymore.
Sincerely, I never really supported the environmental sanitation thing.
Really?
From the scratch, I never did. Because I think it wasted too much business time. Some people will wake up in the morning, they go about their businesses, they would have, done a lot of business hours. And we took that away from a lot of people.
But what about the result?
Well, this is something we could do without stopping business, without restricting people.
But you know how people can be.
Most of the people don't even do anything. On such days, environmental was fun day.
For them to relax a bit.
Yeah, people would just stay home, watch, whatever movies they wanted to catch up on, do some other things. And, and have a few people arrested on the streets for, violating certain things. It had greater negative implication on our economy than positive implication on our health.
Okay, then. We really hope that we have something, or there is actually something to do at this point to curb this cholera outbreak before it spreads further.
Also, we must chip this one in, that when people start they start reading up the numbers like these on an outbreak, there's always the corruption part, and we saw that eminently during the COVID-19 thing, that a lot of people made money around government offices and so on, and politicians also were able to pocket a few things. So when they start reading up the numbers like this, what I wonder is, where did you get that efficiency? That will not reflect in other parts of our lives that you govern. But when it comes to issues like this, and at the end of this thing, you will hear the billions that
used for
we
that.
spent to ensure that the population did not go extinct.
All right, then. That is on the part of the government, and I also hope that on the part of the people, we do what we are supposed to do, the cleanliness part, so that we can also curb this.
It's crucial.
In our little way.
Wura, it's not because even we have cholera outbreak. Every day we have to ensure that at least we score like 65-70% cleanliness in our lives. Some people will go around and have this BO and so on, and they think it's from birth or it's not. It's because you don't clean up all the places that you should clean up on you personally. Most of the time it's not because God created you like that. And I think we should try as much as possible to ensure that we stay clean.
All right, then. And then let us move straight into the business of Nigeria. That was also a business of Nigeria, but more or less, let's talk about our leadership and politics and thereabout. Right now, we know we've been talking about the minimum wage for quite a while now. So there is a story coming up, and I don't know why I'm linking it. A federal government to punish supervisors approving salaries for JAPA workers. And also there is another one that is talking about the fact that the people that are collecting salaries without being in office, there is something that's going to be done about that as well. The civil servant collecting salaries after relocating abroad must refund money, and that is coming from federal government while we are having minimum wage talks.
Well, I have a fair idea why you related the two. It's because, you see, when we talk about this minimum wage business, the federal government has a huge fault, no doubt, in so many ways. If you look at the ostentatious lifestyle of our politicians, it's really obscene. Let's be clear about that. Apart from that, you also know that the workers in the system, in something called the civil service, there's a lot of rot going on there. A lot of rot. And this thing you're just talking about, is a racket. It just doesn't happen that somebody, japa, and then they're still paying the salary, maybe by default or something. No. It's a steady racket. And it's going on. So for the government to be speaking easy on it like this, I don't still know where they're coming from. Because they know it's a massive racket and it will run into millions, if not billions, depending on how big the racket is.
It's been there. All right, then. Before we go further on that, let's go pay some bills. When we're back, we'll still continue the conversation on that about people that are already outside the country, civil servants still collecting their salaries, and what the federal government has said on that just now. We'll be back.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
My baby is 6 months old. Oh my! 6 months old? Wow! Now your baby needs more than breast milk. It's time to introduce mashed meals. In addition to breast milk, begin to give your baby mashed meals that contain at least one item from each of these 5 food groups: eggs, fish or meat, fruits and vegetables, oils, beans, groundnuts, soya or millet, rice, potato, maize or yam. From 6 months. In addition to breast milk, your baby needs this combination of food types to grow healthy. This message is from the ANRIN Project, Oyo State Ministry of Health.
nǹkan fararọ lóòótọ́ ṣùgbọ́n Africa máa forí tì í lọ́dọ̀ wa ní Total Energies. Ó ti lé láàdọ́rin ọdún tá a ti ń gbé ìmọ̀ jáde lọ́tùnlọ́tùn nípa pípèsè àwọn epo ẹ́ńjìnì quartz tó ń dáàbò bo ẹ́ńjìnì àwọn ọkọ̀ ayọ́kẹ́lẹ́ yín, tó ń mú wọn ṣiṣẹ́ dójú àmì, tó sì ń jẹ́ kí epo ọkọ̀ jẹ́ àlòpẹ́. Epo ẹ́ńjìnì quartz wà fún gbogbo ọkọ̀ ayọ́kẹ́lẹ́, ìbáàjẹ́ ọkọ̀ pẹtiró, diesel, ẹ̀lẹ́tíríkì tàbí hybrid, láti ṣiṣẹ́ dójú àmì tí ẹ́ńjìnì ọkọ̀ yóò pẹ́ tí yóò sì pèsè ìdẹ̀ra fún ẹ́ńjìnì láti dín èéfín kù. Dín ìnáwó rẹ kù pẹ̀lú epo ẹ́ńjìnì quartz tó ń fún ẹ́ńjìnì ọkọ̀ ní ìdẹ̀ra kí ẹ́ńjìnì ọkọ̀ rẹ máa tuntun sí i kó sì lálòpẹ́. Máa lo Total Energies, ojúlówó epo ẹ́ńjìnì láti ìgbà pípẹ́.
No matter wetin I show you, you show me love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You show me love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock last.
Àbẹ́ ò rí nǹkan, ẹ̀bùn pàtàkì látọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run lọmọ jẹ́ fáwọn òbí, tómi ọyàn sì jẹ́ ẹ̀bùn Ọlọ́run fáwọn ọmọ. Ó ní gbogbo èròjà aṣaralóore pẹ̀lú omi tọ́mọ rẹ nílò. Fún oṣù 6 àkọ́kọ́, máa fọ́mọ rẹ ní ọyàn nìkan. Rántí o, omi ọyàn nìkan fún oṣù 6 àkọ́kọ́. Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkọ́ṣeṣẹ́ ANRIN Dotun iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
5 Alive Poppy. So much pop. So many ways to pop it. He gulps it. She chews it. He slurps it. Filled with pulp in every gulp, everyone pops it their way. So, how do you pop it?
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
All right, you're welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is the Dailies on Akidigbo. And as much as you are listening to us, you can also join our Facebook page where you get to watch us live. And that is Akidigbo 887 FM. Maestro, before we left, we were talking about the fact that this is not new, and federal government knows it is not new.
They know. We've always had it's a civil service culture in this country. The ghost worker thing with us for a very long time. Until some state governments started bringing technology, ICT, and so on into their operations so as to stamp out this thing or minimize it drastically. So they know. And then Labour also knows. So these are some of the things that we should be tackling from both ends. A candle that should be burning from both ends. The federal government doing the needful, bringing the system up to par with the strides of technology. And of course, Labour that will always come and say, pay me more, to also ensure that it has a clean house. These things are very, very important. Apart from that, though, I don't know why the federal government is doing this feeble, you must refund money who's refunding what? They are not refunding anything. They are at a safe distance from you. And I'm sure you are not going to be extraditing people because you overpaid them or you mistakenly paid them. So it has to be done through other ways. I don't believe that the federal government is totally helpless. Some of these people have not even collected their gratuities. Some of them are still looking forward to pensions and so on. So you could do your plus and minus over these things.
So does that mean these people that are still collecting money, whoever they are, it is going straight into their account, or some people are manipulating it, taking that in their place?
You never can tell. So, but you see, sometimes from experience, from what we have learned over many years of looking at corruption in the civil service system, sometimes you have people who are even dead. They are no longer alive. And one way or the other, through a chain of connivance, that thing is still, the salary is still being paid. Everything goes into that account, and somehow they are able to get it from the back end. Sometimes, this is a living person who's gone out of the country. He or she does not even know that anything is going on that's being paid, but it's happening. Sometimes, they both know that, okay, this is my cut when it comes. This is what you send back. This is what you... So I think this question is a very, very germane question, which the federal government should work on and look at the ramifications and then come up with a very decent plan on how to make sure that this stops. It's difficult because, you see, the politician comes and goes in civil public office. He comes and he goes. So the politician is the soldier. Soldier goes, soldier come. But barrack, no, they go anywhere. That's the civil servant. And that is why, next to politicians in their hierarchies, they are some of the wealthiest Nigerians that you can see anywhere. Because when the politician comes, they will show the politicians the ropes. They will show the politicians where all the bodies are buried. And so they work in cahoots. And when this politician goes, Another one comes and he meets them there. They
They
are
do
the
the same.
landlords. They are the landlords.
All right. I guess the labor unions, they actually have a lot of work to do regarding that.
Well, they are part of the problem. So they are not going to work as far as you are envisaging.
All right, then. Let us move to this story where we have a Dangote group accusing international oil companies operating in the country of deliberately sabotaging Dangote refinery's plan to roll out petrol in the market. And for a while now, we've been talking about Dangote refinery working and all. And maybe we've actually a bit of forgotten about Port Harcourt refinery. And now we are talking about Dangote refinery. But Dangote refinery, that we see that is coming up. We keep seeing news about Dangote refinery. And now we see a news from them saying that some people are trying to sabotage the refinery's plan to roll out petrol. This is a business tactics somehow, but at the detriment of who?
See, this is how these things go. Yes, we're talking about Dangote refinery a lot more than the Port Harcourt refinery. And I know that this administration is losing credit on Port Harcourt refinery. For as long as Port Harcourt refinery does not come up on stream, you're losing credit. You're losing political credit. Let's put that there. Now, people are talking more about Dangote refinery. It's popping up more in the news. Because we're quite close to it. Because Alhaji Aliko Dangote himself has come out to say, in July, we are going to start supplying. He has also given his word that, the capacity to take care of our domestic consumption is there.
All right, a second.
It's 7 a.m. on Agidigbo 88.7 FM.
Okay.
So, all these promises kind of got us excited that, pump prices will drop. Because people are looking forward seriously to pump prices crashing, not just dropping, crashing. And it's our fervent prayer that happens. This is why we're talking. Now, when you look at what he's been saying of late, there has to be, this government, this administration must envisage that Dangote is going to run into all manner of headwinds. And it's not just about taxes and so on. It's about approvals. So when you simply lavish approvals like that, you can look at this from two perspectives. One, he's talking about substandard crude.
Yeah.
And approvals being given for that. And every approval turns out to be some kind of competition.
For him.
And so we're really looking at a situation where the federal government will have to pitch its tent. In any case, this federal government, from what we have read from the available literature, did a lot to bring the Dangote refinery on stream. If you go and check the literature, it's almost the federal government like granting heavy waivers and making a lot of liquidity available. So we have to. I see a situation where this administration will be the spine of Dangote refinery for the benefit of the people of this country. You see, some of these people have been in the business for donkey years and they make easy money. And who is not going to defend sources of easy money? Ura. Everybody does that. And so it's the government of the day that will say, look, this is make or mar for me. I have to strengthen, be the spine of Dangote refinery so that which we are looking forward to happens. Which is the crashing of pump price, which these other folks don't like. And so it's corruption fighting back. It has to happen. And in enlightened self-interest, you see this kind of conflicts too. So we expect it. But we must win. And by we, I mean the people of this country, whose interests will be championed by the federal government. This current administration has to do it brazenly. So that's the way I'm looking at it in a way. The other thing that Alhaji Aliko Dangote talked about It's even, international conspiracy.
Yes.
There's international conspiracy on the one hand. There is domestic conspiracy on the other hand.
Right under our nose.
Yes, because these people, they serve one another. The international conspiracy has proxies on ground inside the country who are very powerful. And Mr. Dangote knows one or two things about this. So he's not just talking. And he's also not playing politics. And this question was being asked, by, journalists from over there who was saying, what did you face? And he said, there are forces out there who would not want refining to happen on the continent of Africa. So when I have been talking about these things for a very long time, and, some of our people will just be taking it with levity, but I understand, because if you have not dedicated almost your entire life, to understanding situations, very complicated ones, you might not see what we see. And this man has now come out to tell everybody. And I know we simply passed it on. He's saying there is international conspiracy so that we will not be able to refine.
In Nigeria.
In Africa.
In Africa as a whole.
So, but because for as long as we are not able to refine, then we will be
dependent,
packing dollars and be dependent on them. And I'm so happy that he was courageous enough, bold enough to come out and answer that question the way he did. He wasn't talking tongue-in-cheek. He was not speaking easy. He laid it out that, look, there is international conspiracy out there. I know he has friends who are, the champions of this international conspiracy too. Because, the irony of it is, as he was talking about this glorious immediate future for the Nigerian economy because of those things that he will be producing, he was also saying, we need to move the bulk of our money into the American economy in dollars so that things will not happen to it as the African economy, the Nigerian economy, goes through difficult and unpredictable times. Look at that irony.
All right, but then talking about this international conspiracy, trying to stop a refining or not making it happen at all in Africa.
Making it very extremely difficult.
Federal government, they know this. Do they not know this also? Or should we say, is that the reason we are not making so much progress on the part of the government concerning refining?
Well, we played into their hands for a start. And you see, when you say federal government is a continuum. So no one could come today and say, well, I wasn't there when that happened. Nobody is listening to that. Government is a continuum. So you take the assets and you take the liabilities. So that remains sacrosanct. But the point here is we played into their hands. During the June 12 crisis, that's when we ran into that headwind. People really did a lot of things to destroy our refining capacity so as to bring the government of the day down to its knees. And since then, people have just been, smiling to the banks, leaving successive administrations, leaving, our refineries comatose, but spending billions of dollars pretending to be bringing these refineries back to life. So we have a problem in that regard. But it's bigger than that,
Can we link that to the Port Harcourt refinery issue?
Yes. Look, we had 4.
Before.
4 refineries. We never really bothered about lifting crude and so on. We simply sold crude and we collected our dollars, cool cash,
Cool
and
dollars.
life went on as, most oil producing countries in the world do. And in any case, we have ensured that we portrayed ourselves as, people who are incapable of, people lacking the capacity to do their own refinery. So we've always had these funny partnerships, Shell, BP, this and that, ELF, Chevron, all of them just milking us dry where we have people who beat them in class. Some of these guys are even technicians, but they come here and they make millions of dollars where we are paying our people. But when you go to Saudi Aramco, you see Saudi Arabians are the ones in charge there. When you go to anywhere in this world where you have oil producing capacity, you find the people there. But when you come here, you see our people in the second class capacity, while you find these Europeans on top. But even in our politics, they have a large say. So
they still do.
Our economy is, there. They have a stranglehold on our economy, but they have a large say on our politics. And politics always controls the economy, right? So, which is why we talk about political, economy sometimes. So it's a massive topic, Ura. Maybe you want to pick a day for that.
Okay, so I don't know. Does that beg the question of our independence? As
it affects our independence. That's why some highly knowledgeable people they don't talk about independence. They talk about flag independence.
Flag independence.
Flag independence is mutually
It's
distinct.
not even name independence.
Well, flag independence, it captures it for you.
Wow.
And what I always tell people is it's even a ruse for the colonialists to say, all right, we are granting you independence. You depended on us. We should be granting who independence? You depended on us. You took our cocoa, you took our oil, you took everything to develop your own economy. And at the end of it, when you wanted to upgrade, you now told a lie, a grand lie, that you're granting us independence. When you are depending on me, who should be granting who independence?
Even with the lie, did they actually grant us independence?
It doesn't happen. That's why it's called. Well, in any case, I believe that we shouldn't have been asking for independence, really. We should have been asking for freedom, liberty, which we didn't, because it's the norm that they created for people who are held in servitude to ask for independence instead of asking for their freedom or their liberty.
All right, as much as I am so much invested in this topic, I think we need to move on from that and go to another story.
True.
All right, the Niger State Governor Mohammed Bago has called on the National Assembly to probe the 90 billion naira released by federal government to subsidize the 2024 Hajj pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia. I think we've talked about this topic before, even talking about the subsidy, 19 billion naira on a religious issue. Yes, we've talked about that. But then the issue now is the fact that what did they do with that money? What did they do with the subsidy? They subsidized it, yes, but what happened? Because we've seen cases, I think I saw a couple of videos on the internet about what they feed these people over there. And then in Mohammed Bago's talks, he's talking about the fact that they gave them about, is it $400? I actually can't remember. $400 to take care of themselves for about 40 days, despite the payment of 8 million naira by each pilgrim. Are we still talking corruption again?
Well, you see, the thing is, I restrain myself from laying pretenses at being an authority on certain matters, which Hajj operations, I'm not an authority on that. But let's look at things outside the scope of authority. One, this 90 billion, what was it meant to do? We have not asked ourselves that. What was it meant to do? Now, was it laid out or was it not? Now, if it was laid out, did it achieve that? That's the next question. So it is not enough to begin to simply say, oh, they gave them some paltry amount to take care of themselves. Blah, blah. We need to audit and say how many people went under this 90 billion naira largesse. How many people went to perform the Hajj how many people were supposed to partake. There are a lot of questions before we arrive at the point of, they serve them poor food and so on and so forth. Because you are going to Hajj for a start, and you will enjoy your stay as much as your pocket could carry you.
Sure.
Because some people would even go from maybe UK, somewhere in Europe, to Hajj. That's a different class. And they are going to lodge in the best hotels in Saudi, in Mecca. So, are they also going to partake in the 90 billion? They don't need it. So you have to audit and scale down. And an audit will tell you what actually happened as against what should happen. So I'm very careful in accusing people straight on without knowing what really went down. It's important. Now, if you took this 90 billion naira and handed it over to whom? Who was it even given to?
I think that was supposed to be NACON.
So what's the business of NACON? What does NACON do? If you now want to give money to pilgrims across 36 states plus Abuja, should you be giving it to a body, or should you be cutting it down to 36 and sharing it according to a particular ratio, so that when we are talking about corruption in this state, we will not be talking about it in that other state? So there are a lot of questions here.
All right, then. Let's go pay some bills. When we're back, we'll go straight into Rivers, as we have the Labour suspending planned protest over police presence at Rivers local government. Yes, we'll be picking it up from there when we're back. Let's go pay some bills.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí aláboyún, ó ṣe pàtàkì kí n tọ́jú ara mi kí n sì wà ní ìlera pípé.
Kí ìwọ àtoyún inú ẹ lè wà ní ìlera tó péye. Máa lo oògùn ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ní áyọ̀nù nínú àti folic acid lójoojúmọ́ lákòókò tó bá lóyún. Eléyìí ń dènà àìtó ẹ̀jẹ̀ nínú oyún, yóò sì jẹ́ kóyún wà lálàáfíà. Fún ìlera pípé, ẹ máa yọjú sí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ìlera yín fún ìtọ́jú oyún nígbà tó yẹ. Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkọ́ṣeṣẹ́ ANRIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Madam, you don't try this new Lush Hair 4-in-1 no-lie relaxer kit wey get free neutralizing shampoo and conditioner join.
Whoa, me I no deal.
You no even sabi wetin dey happen for town. You see this Lush Hair relaxer so?
E no dey pepper, e no dey burn. E go even make your hair shine like oil.
Na so, Lush Hair relaxer kit na correct. We no go make your hair cut. We no go make your hair dry. E no dey pepper and e dey relax hair well well. Shikini time. Come buy your own.
Lush Hair. Be beautiful.
No matter waiting, I show you, you show me love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You show me, you show me, you show me love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock lasts.
I am pregnant. It is important for me to take care of myself and stay healthy.
To be strong and have a healthy pregnancy, take iron and folic acid tablets every day when you're pregnant. This prevents anemia and helps maintain a healthy pregnancy. Visit your healthcare provider for regular antenatal care. This message is from the ANRIN Project or your State Ministry of Health.
I wanna be as strong as Captain Amazing. I'm with amazing, very serial, that is what I'll be. I've got strong bones, sharp eyes. I'm an amazing angel, that's right. I'm an amazing, very serial, that is who I am.
Now tell me what you need.
Amazing day cereal.
Golden Penny Amazing Day Cereal. Nurture them for the future.
Ẹ̀yin dírẹ́fà gẹ́gẹ́ àti ọ̀kadà ẹ fetí síbí kẹ́ gbọ́rọ̀ mi o. Ìjàkadì lójoojúmọ́, wàhálà epo ẹ́ńjìnì àti ìdààmú ẹ́ńjìnì. Ìmọ̀ràn tí mo mú wà. Total Energies IPF. Ó ń dáàbò bo ẹ́ńjìnì. Total Energies IPF. Ajẹ́kẹ́ ẹ́ńjìnì ńlá ló pẹ́ o. Total Energies IPF. Kẹ́tó pààrọ̀ epo ẹ́ńjìnì apẹ́. Total Energies IPF. Ajẹ́kẹ́ epo yín ńlá ló pẹ́ o. Total Energies.
Máa lo Total Energies fún ààbò lójoojúmọ́ lórí ẹ́ńjìnì rẹ kó o sì máa tẹná lọ yà.
We can protect your car, your savings.
Let's not make it boring. Let's make insurance a lifestyle. If you've ever wished your insurance offered you more, then you're in good hands with Hares Insurance Group. In addition to our extensive insurance coverage, you can also enjoy free benefits such as networking opportunities, up to 10% discount on hotels, gyms, spas, and your favorite stores, tickets to exclusive events, and free resources to plan your future. So, next time someone asks you, what does your insurance company give you, sir? Your answer should be with Hess Insurance Group. Definitely much more than insurance.
To enjoy all these, sign up on www.hairsinsurancegroup.com. That is HEIRS. Hairs Insurance Group. Simple life is here.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
All right, we're back straight into Rivers State right now, where we have the NLC and TUC suspending their planned protest because of the fact that they following the report of plans by some individuals to incite violence under the guise of being Labour members. What was the reason they wanted to go on this protest before? That was because they on Friday asked the police who are taking over the local government secretariat in the state to vacate the council premises because of the fact that they say they are supposed to maintain peace. That is the police, but also denying workers access to their offices was a breach of their rights.
You know, when the police is performing its duties, people should take a couple of steps back and allow the police to maintain peace. I mean, if these people who are claiming that they wanted to access their workplaces and so on, if they could do it, why did we lose lives in the first instance? And so they should allow the police to do its duties until the court makes a pronouncement, which the police again will ensure that the ruling is enforced. This is how things are done in decent societies where we don't read politics into everything. And I'm not oblivious of the fact that people should read politics into things as much as possible. Because look at the entire space. Isn't it politics that we are playing? And we played it to the point of losing human lives, including the life of a policeman.
All right, then let us leave that and go to Kano State because today we have a news saying Kano government serves a Bayero eviction notice from Nasarawa Palace as expected. Right?
I told you. You see, the other time that we were talking, I said I had a strong hunch that this is how it's going to play out. It's going to play out in favor of Sanusi eventually. And somebody said, why were you so sure, this and that? And I wasn't so sure. I was playing on my hunch. But then everything told me that, and I also told you we needed the input of serious lawyers.
Yes, and we had Falana talk about.
So over the weekend, he talked about it and laid it very bare that look, you have this thing called exclusive list and concurrent. Those things belong largely to the federal government, but the residual is a state government affair. That's where the cultural thing falls under. So the court now said, look, I can't touch the power of the State House of Assembly, which now further empowered the governor to carry out what he did.
Yeah.
Isn't it clear enough? The other part is that the Supreme Court, according to Mr. Falana, SAN, the Supreme Court already ruled twice, even as far back as the days of Gongola State.
Yes, that case.
That, look, you cannot consider being in that office a right.
It is not your right.
It's a privilege. So, and if it's a privilege you are granted today, it's taken away tomorrow. That's what they really means.
You can't seek redress.
So, and those are the places where the hunch came from. That when a state government moves against you in this dispensation, it's very difficult for you to be able to do anything about it. And we've seen this over and over and over again. Now, am I saying it's right? No. Am I saying it's wrong? No. But I'm saying this is what is likely to play out, which is the essence of analysis at the end of the day. Especially if it turns out most of the time, like you say, it will turn out. Even if some people are not prepared to give you a little credit for that.
It's fine. It's okay.
It's very okay.
It's okay. All right. This one is coming from Sarah, decrying the 121 trillion naira debt and then seeking the probe of World Bank loans. We have syrup in the news again.
And I love syrup.
I know.
I love syrup so much. We cannot forget these things. These things could not be erased. They could not be deleted, from our political history. And that's very important because, you see, we forget things too easily in this place. Apart from that, we bury a lot of things in a stack of so-called the library of time. So these things will not go away and they will remain valid. And that's what I see Serap doing with these protests, for all the time it's been in existence. And I hope it will not get tired. I strongly hope that it will carry on in this regard. Yes, why shouldn't we probe things? Especially finances, huge finances. We should. In other countries, nobody even has to say, go and audit, which is some kind of probe. So we audit these things constantly and we ensure that things are done correctly and that nobody is pilfering. But here we simply roll out these monies, and at the end of one regime, we return to shout a lot, and after the shouting, another one comes and starts to do the same thing, and it's a vicious cycle. This is what we do, and this is what has to stop. But I doubt very much if the fallen cries of Serap is going to be able to redress this situation.
All right, then. We have a story on page 2 of the Nation newspaper talking about state airports and how viable they are, or how viable they will be, or they can be.
State airports.
State airports.
Well, it depends. Imagine if Lagos State eventually comes up with a state airport, which is in the offing. That's going to be viable because everybody is heading for Lagos every day.
And
everybody is heading outside of Lagos to other parts of the country for a start. Apart from that, I'm sure it will fight for international flights to almost everywhere. And the standard, because it has the kind of resource it will apply to such a venture. So I'm sure that will be viable, most likely. Because this is Nigeria, you always have to leave that small doubt there. So, and if you look at it, it depends on the traffic. Airports and traffic go together. So if you have the kind of traffic, I'm sure you will make the money, it will be viable. If you do not, it wouldn't be. For a very long time, let's just take the Ibadan airport here, which is not state-owned. It's not state-owned.
It is not.
But let's just take it for many years. That airport, I always asked myself why it was there. Many years, but it was there. But today, you have a lot of flights leaving Ibadan.
Yes.
You have a lot coming into Ibadan. So maybe you say, okay, it's something of some kind of visionary effort as far back as when it was built, or maybe it was built for some other purpose, because as at that time, Lagos, is too close to Ibadan for you to have. If you were served tea in Lagos as your boarding, before you finish a cup of tea, you're in Ibadan. You're already in Ibadan, and that tea hasn't even cooled.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things that could go into such considerations. States want to build airports. Most of those states building airports, you could write it down to the Nigerian factor. You have to spend billions, right? So it leads you to the award of contract. And when you award contract, a lot of things go down. So you always want to reflect on that too.
All right then, let's go pay. Sorry, no.
You like paying bills.
I mean, the bills that pay the bills.
Yes.
Okay. Let us open the phone lines right now to allow people to join in the conversation this morning. And while we do that, please let us not forget that we can also drop our comments on the Facebook page where we get to read those comments. But before we open the phone lines, we have rules now. You have a minute when you put your call through. You have a minute flat to make your point. So please let us just go straight to the point as much as possible. 1 minute flat, and let us know that we are talking about the topics discussed this morning. The ones we discussed this morning. If you have any other issues relating to any other topics, you could drop that on our Facebook page. And yes, maybe we can pick it up. All right, when you call, make sure that you are not attacking anybody. No attack on persons. Attack the topic, yes, but no attack on persons. Finally, let's be civil, because this is radio and it is not everything we can put out. It is not everything we can say on radio. So then, let's listen to this.
Thank you for your attention. It's been lovely to have you keeping it locked on Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Now is the time to join in the conversation, to have the word, hear your voice, because we are the people's voice. Meanwhile, while you contribute to this program, kindly note that in accordance with broadcasting ethics, you are requested to keep your contributions modest, truthful, concise, and not offensive, inflammatory, or with tendencies to cause discomfort to anyone. Thank you. Now, let the conversation begin.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Peter Oladayo from Machi.
All right, sir, your contribution.
All right.
Oh, so sorry about that. Please, you can call back. Sure, you can put your call through again. Maybe it's a network or something. Do well to call back. 0704 1001 887. 0704 1001 887. Or +234 704 700 8873. Those are the phone lines to call. Rich Bass says 53 billion naira Ebonyi Airport is one of Nigeria's poorest states, lies idle over a year after lavish inauguration. Why not invest in power, agriculture? Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Olatunbo is my name. I'm calling from Ibadan.
All right, sir.
I just want to make my contribution towards the cholera outbreak and the reference that was made to the sanitation officers that were so efficient in the past. I just want to draw the attention to the fact that sanitation officers were very efficient and were visible in our communities during the period that we have relatively independent local government system. I grew up knowing all these sanitation officers, including the people that we call yellow fever, the tax collectors within our community. These people, they have their jurisdiction domiciled within the local government. As a matter of fact, the constitution also empowers the local government to be in charge of environmental sanitation. But unfortunately, everything has been centralized today, and that is the reason why most of these things disappear. So for us to have an efficient and effective environmental sanitation in our system again, we need to go back to the foundation, whereby we have a functional local government administration. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. 0704-1001-887. Emma Stevenson says, thanks, Maestro. I gained a new knowledge this morning. I used to believe that all airports belong to the federal government. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name or where you're calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Bagi here. My name is Comrade Wuraola Yusuff.
All right, sir.
Yeah. It's not even mean that I want to say something this morning, but I want to give kudos to the analysts in the studio for the way they are giving us the breaking down of all this headline. But I'm really impressed, and I'm enjoying his analysis every day. So more kudos. Yeah, more knowledge for you, our Oga.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution. Yes, we still have a couple of comments on the Facebook page as we will continue to pick more calls. Hello, good morning. All right, on our Facebook page, there is quite a lot of comment there where I read the first one earlier. And reading this one from... Okay, let's pick this call then. Ooh, we lost that. All right, so there are quite a lot of comments on the Facebook page. 0704-1001-887. Rich Bar says, I thought Hajj was about going to the Holy Land, performing spiritual exercise and avoiding sin. But the frustrations of the Niger State governor is clearly revealing. Even governors were poorly treated, according to him, after getting 90 billion naira plus 5 billion naira from northern states governors. How do you approve so much money, yet no monitoring of any sort? People are left to do and undo. Government has no business in religion. In Nigeria? Okay then. Let us what's from this one from Kazim Olawale saying, on rivers, many already know who are causing trouble. Fubara has appointed people into offices pending local government election, and not only him, all governors used to do it because of lacuna in our law. And the police is to maintain law, not to block those appointed by Fubara. But supporters of federal government did not want to hear this. Federal government should stay clear and not take sides.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. Fubara has the power to call for elections. He did not.
He didn't do that.
So all this distortion does not make any sense to anybody. It doesn't make sense. He is the one who should have said this is the timetable for elections. He didn't do it. That's how you open the door, to all these other things that are happening.
So the crisis. All right then, 0704-1001-887. 0704-1001-887. Or +234-704-700-8873. Those are the phone lines to call this morning. Adewumi Shegun says, on environmental sanitation, the cancellation of the exercise makes the city more dirtier. Though, well, the exercise was on cleanliness of the city is more better than when cancelled. At least then more than 50% of households abide with the order of not all, and better than when no one does it now. 2, on payment to those that have jacked, but honestly, the officers on desk concerned should be held responsible for the refund, including those officers that left were working on the den before their exit. Hello, good morning.
Okay.
Okay, we lost that call.
Simply consider how many countries in the world where you have environmental sanitation, where people are locked in, If you don't see it in the world, why are you encouraging it in your own world? It's funny.
All right. Emma Stevenson says, please, how do we explain to the world that one man built a refinery that Nigeria as a country couldn't build? Isn't it a shame? All right. That's true.
Well, it depends on how you look at life. The point is, one man built it. Do you know that one man built it? The money came from the pocket of this country. That's the point. And then is it going to solve problems? That's how some people... So you look at your own cup. Is it half full or half empty. It depends. It's your choice how you see life.
All right then, Ariola Francis says, please, we know Lagos is sophisticated but also a very dirty city. We shouldn't be surprised the cholera outbreak erupted from there. Overpopulation is also affecting that state. Can't believe a cholera outbreak is disturbing a country like Nigeria in 2024. Very funny.
Yes, because we are who we are. We are who we are. We are Nigerians. How do we live our lives? It's important.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Ma.
Good morning, sir.
Your name and where you're calling from, ma? This is the Dailies.
All
right, Alaji is not on the program this morning. It is just me and Maestro. So yes, you can call to talk to us, but Alaji is not available right now. All right, so this story is explaining why your government delayed approval of Olakulen's choice as a 43rd Olubadan. And yes, the news is saying your state government has revealed that the dissenting voice within the Olubadan Council on the health status of Wuraola Yusuff was the reason government was careful. The Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Mr. Olusegun Olaiwola, in an interview said, although he didn't mention the name, he explained that one of the members of Olubadan Council objected to Olakulen's nomination on health grounds, which necessitated that the government should patiently consider oppositions before approving the nomination. So that was the issue.
I don't believe it's a powerful enough reason, because one person out of many, shouldn't have been what will hold anything down. But you see, the most important thing is it's moving on, right? So we're happy that it's moving on.
I mean, I guess I even thought, okay, we are over this. So why is this coming out?
Well, maybe it's just to explain what happened in the past.
Because of some people's stance on what the government.
Human beings are pretty complicated.
Okay. Yeah. 070410018887. 070410018887 or +2347047008873. On the front page of the Nation newspaper, I have this picture where we have President with Dele Alake and also Mrs. Fatima Shenkafi during the gold band certificate presentation. And this is where we have the minister presenting gold bar to the president, saying solid minerals boost foreign reserves by $5 million.
Well, I still don't understand the presentation of gold bars that, I saw it happen during the Buhari administration. And it was even the governor of Zamfara State, I think, who made that presentation. And I was asking what was the purpose. Now this is the honorable minister that is presenting the gold bar. I don't know what it means. I don't know the value. But what interests me though is $500 million boost to the revenue of the federation. I think that's a good thing. But I'm sure we could have more. If we really, yes, I applaud the minister, for writing his own story like this. This is his own story. That, okay, when a minister, we boosted revenue by $500 million. That's great. But I hope after applauding him, he goes on to do more. We need billions of dollars. People are hungry. Let me tell you something that happened yesterday on the Igbesaye program. We were talking about certain other factors. The people were emphasizing hunger. So at some point I thought, okay, maybe we will just begin to discuss hunger in the land. Because seriously, nobody wants to listen to any other thing anymore.
We're all hungry.
And people have to, you see, it's even a lie that we're all hungry. The truth is that the people like you and I, we're not hungry. People who call into the programs, they are not hungry. Because nobody will spend the money that you should used to it to buy data.
Airtime or data.
So, but what we do, all of us, is we represent those who are hungry.
Yes.
And then sometimes we represent them poorly. Sometimes we represent them smartly. But it hit me yesterday that, people simply want to talk about food. And I know that this is real. When you're buying one, I really want to go to Akinyele because people are talking about Akinyele and Rodo and tomatoes and so on. And I want to go there and find out the difference, between Akinyele and Bodija and Akubo and everywhere else.
I think people from Bodija, they go to Akinyele.
Because when you sell one tomatoes for 250 naira, how are people not going to direct their entire attention
to hunger?
To hunger and, how to go about feeding themselves. So instead of $500 million, we need something like maybe 5 billion from gold. And maybe it's something that is achievable if we could just remove all this violence, that surrounds mining of gold. And all these foreigners who come into our country to really fund the violence that is going on here because they are taking away our gold.
All right, explaining the gold part, he said that the 70+ kilogram gold bar sourced from local artisanal and small gold miners was refined by the Solid Minerals Development Fund, an agency under the ministry. He added that the gold was polished to meet the London Bullion Market Association good delivery standard.
So we're upping the standards. It's good, but we really need to get more gold out of the belly of the earth because we are starving.
All right, then 0704-1001-887. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, I'm Franklin. I'm calling from Malete.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
Yeah, please, ma, I want to speak on insecurity in my state, Anambra State. The level of killing there is too much. So I'm trying to appeal to federal government if they can help us. The way I'm hearing claims there is quite much.
All right. Thank you so much for that, sir. And I hope that the federal government are doing something in earnest to make sure that the security in Anambra State is restored back to normal. All right. Okay, Mr. Stevenson says, Maestro, I wish you listen to I've forgotten. I can't see the comment anymore. I wish you listen to Idris Abdulkarim's song on hunger. Yes, that's the comment.
Well, I wish Idris Abdulkarim well. It's an effort that at another point in time would have been a banger.
Yeah.
But it simply fizzled out because I think his time is really gone. And you see, the problem here is people are listening to something else in music. This is not what you see. At his own time, at the peak of his career, when he did Nigeria Jaga Jaga, it was well received. It became a big deal, and but today it's the
focus on music
like
is shifted
echo.
already.
It's like an echo of the real deal that he did many years ago. But interestingly, though, the substance makes a lot of sense because people are hungry.
It is true.
People are very hungry, and I think this should always be brought to the front burner. When this administration came in and they were talking about food security and job security, I thought, okay, for the first time I'm hearing the kind of stuff
that's supposed to happen.
I'm hearing the kind of stuff that we should be hearing from people, that they are going to bring the three security items together.
But now
I'm not so sure anymore.
All right.
I'm not so sure.
Let's go play some music. We're back. We'll wrap up on the dailies for today. And that is where we get to take just a few more calls and then we'll take our parting shot and then leave. We'll be back.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
Madam, you don't try this new Lush Hair 4-in-1 no lie relaxer kit. We get free neutralizing shampoo and conditioner join.
What? Me, I no deal.
You not even sabi wetin dey happen for town. You see this Lush Hair relaxer so?
E no dey pepper, e no dey burn. E go even make your hair shine like oil.
Na so, Lush Hair relaxer kit na correct. We no go make your hair cut. We no go make your hair dry. E no dey pepper and e dey relax hair well well. Shikini time. Come buy your own.
Lush hair, be beautiful.
Big mommy, add that bokoto we go senior school. Put 2 roundabout. Anoint the package with that slim thick shaki and
Uncle, no vex o. Which teeth you wan use eat all this orishi? That your teeth will be like where motor jam truck. E no dey worry you again.
That one na before. All thanks to the new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection.
That's right. The new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste gives you complete oral protection with fluoride and antibacterial zinc to keep your teeth strong, prevent tooth holes, and fight bacteria.
Please have to go buy my own new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste.
Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection for your important oral care needs. Available in a blue gel.
Láti dènà àrùn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru àti àrùn mìíràn, pàápàá nínú àwọn ọmọdé, fọ ọwọ́ rẹ pẹ̀lú ọṣẹ àtomi tó ń dà ṣooro. Ní pàtàkì jùlọ, tó o bá lo ilé ìgbọ̀nsẹ̀ tán lẹ́yìn tó bá ti ṣàǹdí fọ́mọ tán kó o tó ṣe oúnjẹ ọmọ rẹ tàbí kó o tó fún un lóúnjẹ. Àti pé o, tí ọmọ rẹ bá ní àìsàn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru, fún un ní oògùn oníwóró zinc lẹ́ẹ̀kan lójúmọ́ àti ORS ní wákàtí mẹ́rin tàbí kí ẹ máa fún un díẹ̀díẹ̀ nínú ife. Èyí á jẹ́ kọ́mọ rẹ lè ní ìdápadà omi ara àtokun. Bákan náà, yọjú sílé iṣẹ́ ètò ìlera tó bá súnmọ́ ọ jùlọ láti gba ìtọ́jú fọ́mọ tó ní àìsàn ìgbẹ́ gbuuru.
Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣe ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Ó yá gbà ọmọ mi ọ̀wọ́n.
Màámi, ẹ fi mílìkì sí ni.
Kò di dandan, ìwọ tó wò ná.
Báwo lẹ ṣe ṣe?
Ǹjẹ́ mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye?
Ní gidi gan.
Ṣé ọ̀rá wàrà inú ẹ̀ ṣàn tó?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy nìyẹn o. Mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye, mi ò nílò láti ṣàfikún mílìkì sí i.
Mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ màámi.
Fún àwọn ọmọ rẹ ní Milo 3-in-1 milky àti creamy tuntun, mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye, ó kún fún káṣíọ̀mù láti ran àwọn ọmọ rẹ lọ́wọ́ láti yege lójoojúmọ́. Milo, agbára láti tẹ̀síwájú.
Milo. No matter waiting, I show you, you show me love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You show me, you show me, you show me love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock last.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
Alright, Adewumi Shego on Facebook says, still on environmental sanitation, for not seeing other countries forcing people to make their environment clean does not mean Nigeria cannot decide on their own to do what will make their citizens to do what they believe is right, to make the environment always tidy. We need to stop comparison of other countries with that of Nigerian policy making.
That's the second base. You see, you need to focus. That's the second base. The first thing is that it kills your economy. It kills man hours. That's what we told you. Before you started saying, in any case, that backs it up for you. If successful nations are not doing it, why do you want to do it? Okay, I'm my own man. If you don't have money in your pocket, what kind of your own man are you?
All right, Adexi says, over 90 billion spent on religion. Nothing has changed. This is just to siphon money. What is the business of government in people who want to worship? And there is no monopoly of sense, and many also knows better. All right.
You see, these things come, and then you need to learn. When you say many, you don't say knows. You say many know better. That's how it goes. You need to learn. You learn things.
All right. Let us move on to this news. More like, let's say, should I say a notice or just an announcement coming from an ex-lawmaker warning governors against diverting a 260 billion naira revitalization fund for cholera. And that is we going back to the issue of cholera before we wrap up this morning. Funds, diversion of funds, utilization of funds that are being that may be rolled out for this. How do we handle this?
Well, you see, the truth is always very difficult to nail in our polity. Especially when we talk about funds going after solutions. And that's why I said you need to also look at that part of things. We have looked at, individual health. We've looked at collective health. We've looked at a lot of things. But we also need to look at the reality of corruption, in high places in our country. And when you begin to count up the numbers, I talked about the kind of efficiency that you display, which is, absent in all other spheres of our lives. So, but when you begin to count up the number of COVID-19, cases, you are very efficient at doing that.
Recording deaths.
But when it comes to you replicating the efficiency in other spheres of our life,
and all,
that efficiency vanishes. So that is really suspicious as far as I'm concerned.
All right, then, your pattern shot for this morning before we leave.
Learn. When you see, some people are like Henrik Clark said. You see, he said, I debate my equals. Everyone else I teach. So when you listen to your equals, you can get a bit combative and argue and everything. But you should listen when it's not your equal. You listen, you learn a lot of things. As a matter of fact, you could learn things that are even outside of the topics we are discussing. Because people like us we still sit at the feet of elders to learn. And that's one thing that is missing from this generation. They believe they know everything. And it's very poor.
All right, thank you so much. Mbaimen Nana, your comment on the Facebook page, yes, I've seen it. And then I also saw it last week. So, but then this is Agidigbo FM's program. This is also my program. And there are rules. Thank you so much for joining us this morning again. Tomorrow is another day for us to come back and discuss about our great nation, Nigeria. My name is Wuraola Yusuff, and let us all ensure that we are maintaining cleanliness so as to curb this cholera issue. Have a great week.